Hello, everyone, and welcome to some beautiful, beautiful bit of WARNO action as we're going into the Terrible Divisions tournament, and we have some 8 beautifully ugly divisions ahead of us in this lovely little one-day tournament, 3 rounds, and we're going in with Greyhound versus Waiting for Sweets, aka Fishy. And these two have to play with the other side's deck. And the deck that Greyhound built is this lovely deck that now Fishy has to play, where you can see a lot of CVs, actually decent infantry, couple of mortars, a couple of VBL recon. So actually the recon tab is pretty good as well. The air tab is surprisingly good for this tournament as well. On the other side, Fishy has given this deck to Greyhound. And you can already see the issue of being not that great at AA, though actually decent air-to-air fighters here have to be used, but it has tanks. So that's the good part about this deck, when it can come to good parts. And actually a decent amount of infantry, a lot of supplies. There were a couple of rules. The deck can't be empty. Obviously, it has to use the activation points, and it has to give the enemy enough points to buy something for all of the 40 minutes. So it has to have 11,090 points in here. And this deck actually is looking somewhat decent still. We will have a couple of even worse offenders coming in later. And yeah, the decks in general, pretty terrible. If we will need a replacement at any point in the tournament, I will be up for jumping in as well. I have my own little deck ready for the get-go as well. But you hope Greyhound wins because he has the London deck? Or you hope Greyhound wins because he built such a terribly French deck, Ali? Like, is it the anti-French hate that he went with? Or is it the you're still cheering for the British and the Londoners? Like, what exactly is it? Or is it just the anti-Sweden stuff going on here? Anti-Swedish, okay, I see. That's a bit off-brand for a British guy, but okay, I take it. Bit fancy in your racism. That's fine. And yeah, this is going to be interesting here. This deployment with a lot of airmobiles. Yeah, like this, I wouldn't want to be on Greyhound's side. Like he has a pretty slow deck. He at least has some scouts here, and he has a decent amount of Centurion. But on Cliff here, running into this, like they will take all the good spots, and they have 4 deploy CV. Like, yeah, I'm not sure how well this will go for the HDR London here. I mean, they have tanks. Like, this is the big thing, and there is not a lot of anti-tank that can actually fire on them on a longer range on the other side. Like, there might be none. Don't believe there's any ATGMs in the deck. Let's have a look here again. But yeah, there is no ATGMs in this deck. So you kind of have to play a lot with smoke mortars, I believe, here as the 11th. And then just try to ambush enemy infantry. Plus, if you can use your LGB successfully, that is an option as well. But the other side has tornadoes, so gotta be careful. Like, yeah, giving the enemy side tanks is a risky business. A lot of the decks don't have tanks. A couple of them have it. Will be interesting to see. And it's really an interesting little start here on the left side from the get-go. From Fishy here. Coming around with pretty decent force. And yeah, this is all the points here, I believe. Has to be careful. He has given the other side the Hawks. And the Hawks would be obviously amazing against this. And obviously, the other side knows your deck as well. Like, usually you don't know exactly what the other side has in their deck. Fishy knows exactly what he has given to the opponent. And that includes these 5 Hawk T1A AA fighters. And if they come out early, they could be devastating here. Like, the Hawk, usually not a great plane, but in this matchup, against these helicopters, that could be devastating. Like, he might have given the perfect counter to his opponent. So, Yeah, I'm slightly worried, but it doesn't seem like Greyhound is going for that. Though, I mean, Hawks are easy to fit in. They're only 70 points, so there might still be enough points in this here. This is all still relatively cheap units. So, yeah, giving the enemy Centurion Mark 13s might have been a mistake. Like, my deck idea was to give the enemy as little AT as possible and no armor. I went with first Luftlander. We can have a look on that deck in a minute here as well. And we'll see if I have to get it out of the drawer as well. Play. But so far all the matches seem to be going into action, so that's good. All the people have shown up. That's always nice on a one-day tournament. Here we go. Yeah, there they come. Oh no, this is bad news. This is really bad news. He has fighters as well, but I don't believe he has them out now. So this might go really, really terrible for our Swedish player here. Fishy in trouble against his own Hawks. And there they come. Oh no. Yeah, he has decent fighters given to him by his opponent. He has a couple of Mirages that could deal with that. But all those Super Pumas and Airmobiles here are in big trouble. Like, the Hawk is a relatively good anti-helicopter plane. It doesn't have the most ammo. And the M9Ls actually did hit surprisingly little. Wait, are those Aiden pods having extra low accuracy or something? How did they not kill them? What? Is the Hawk really that bad? How the hell did so many Super Pumas survive? What? Okay. And yeah, this is the +2 situation here now. They have a Fox on the other side. Okay, that I didn't expect there to be either. Fox is actually a pretty decent unit. Airmobile here need to stop. Get the kill there. One scout down. The other Foxes have to be careful. And here come the Hawks with the rocket. Pretty decent, but they have to be careful. You know that the enemy side has decent fighters as well. So using these kind of planes here is risky business by Greyhound. But I mean, if you can draw out the other side's fighters, you might be able to use them. Super Puma resell here allows some nice extra action. Issue is, your deck only has around 11,900 points. So every unit you sell means that you won't have enough points to go to 40 minutes in the end. So in this mode, you also might just want to turn off transport refund. On the Super Puma, I believe it's still worthwhile selling them. On most other units, it might be worthwhile, like the VLRA here, just keeping them as an extra 20-point scout unit, basically. Otherwise, you might not be able to make it into the late game. We have a +2 now. We don't have more than that just yet. So that is the good part here. Tornado AA coming around for the Aero Scouts. Getting a decent strafing run on all of this. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. As there comes a Jaguar rocket, but that didn't work out so well. Hawks and Tornadoes doing a decent job here. About Para Commandos moving around. Have a Gazelle CP getting into a point. Mobiles sitting around. And good damage here by the Centurions. Yeah, the Hawks keeping a decent fight here up against the enemy air. Super Pumas really have to be careful. More of them trying to fly in, but this is not great. The Pamela, actually a decent AA unit here with 2 Mistrals, but doesn't quite one-shot the Hawks. Another Hawk coming around here, trying to finish the job that the other one started, but oh my goodness, are these gun pods bad. One Hawk going down, Airmobile dying on the front line. Another one here in trouble. Pamelas will be able to get 2 more shots out here, or only 1. Pamelas coming around. We have a +2 for red side, but the other side has the tanks, and those gonna be a problem if you don't get air control. So Bringing around the pummeler, good action here, but the other side has a bit of AA as well, though it's only javelins and star streaks. So star streak is actually decent, but not amazing. 7.6mm MG here, getting into the engagements as well. TV getting into the capture point, starting to take the point here. Have more MG teams running into the north. The Fox here getting a good look on the scouting position, but the capture of the zone will continue. And that should give them the +3 here and give them a bit more of a point lead. But the issue will be the Centurions. Your airmobiles on this map can get into decent spot. Airmobile coming in here in more reinforcements. But the Hawk rocket here coming around for the para command, getting a good kill. Rifle patrol pushing forward. Yeah, this is a mess. We'll see if there's maybe a win condition with the air here for Fishy, aka waiting for the sweets. As the aeromobile coming in here. Trying to get reinforcements into the town. You obviously have to be careful with your Centurions. You don't have a lot of recon around for them, so the scouts are actually extra important as well. You don't have any real infantry teams out. Well, the rifle patrols are actually pretty decent. Like these decks are still on the more normal side of things for this tournament. So, yeah, it's a bit wild. We will get wilder in this. Don't you worry. Aeromobile over here. Under fire. Gets hit. Has to run. Gets killed off. Got scouts getting forward. And the Centurion here in a good spot. Here comes the LGBs. Those likely gonna be the win condition for this deck. Get the first kill here. First bomb on target. Or not? Did they drop on position? And they have to be careful here with the tornadoes just hunting them down. There's enough supply for resupplying these Pamellas. And the Pamellas, when set up nicely, can do a lot of work here. AML 60, your best anti-infantry unit in this deck. Can use smoke directly as well. And really good against those 7.6mm, but has to be careful of the Fox and the Centurion, and that's gonna be the problem here. And we by now already have a +1. Hawk here getting a Pamela, but flying over more of them, getting shut down. Mirage here, trying to get on target, gets another kill. Let's get out of there now. Well, it's more 20mm MGs coming in, or AA pieces coming in. Those pretty helpful against the enemy infantry units, and a bit helpful against Gazelle also as well. The issue is the north here right now. The aeromobiles didn't get the early game under control, and the LGBs here now coming around, but out of ammo. Doesn't have a bomb drop. The ML60s went down. They were coming around. Pamela trying to get a kill out here. Gets the kill onto the Hawk. So the Hawk numbers start to get decimated here. But they still get another unit here, and they get the +4 take. All the center points here currently falling, and this is a really big problem for 11th E because they don't really have push potential in this deck. They usually don't have much push potential already, but in this version of the deck, they even have less than normal. Airmobile doing a decent job here. Canberra HE cluster. Yeah, another decent bomber. With the air that was given to waiting for sweets, I believe they could have done a better job at getting air superiority and then negate all of this, but coming in a bit late here with that stuff. Coming in with a bombing run, getting a kill on some decent units here. Centurion goes down as well, but the push is pretty deep at this point. Pamela and the 20mm trying to get rid of the Hawk. The aeromobiles getting bypassed here by the Scorpions as the Mirage F1 CT moves forward. Hawks flying in, trying to get a kill here. That's 3 of them, so that actually will be successful here, as they have a decent air-to-air missile. AM9L not that bad. The airframe they are on is not great, and the gun pods seem to be absolutely terrible, as we saw against Super Pumas earlier. But the missiles are decent, so if you have 6 of them, they actually can do a decent job here. Mirage gets rid of another one though. The last one here likely gonna get got as well. LGB here, that is the win condition. You get 2 of those in the deck of Greyhound. And you get some napalm bombers and rocket planes as well, so that could be the comeback potential. But the tick already now on a +6, so this is relatively unlikely here, as the setup with the Foxes and the Centurions just a bit too good and a bit too numerous at this point. So the command unit here now being shut down and having nothing to reach out to those tanks. Really a big issue. We'll see that for a lot of other decks, dealing with these units is not going to be a problem. So there, the deck might work out better for Fishy when he gets the deck of the enemy side, like dealing with tanks and so on. For a couple of other decks, not that difficult, but for the deck that he got here, you have to really get the best positioning out of airmobiles, and that didn't quite happen here. So yeah, the Jaguar rocket here failing to do its job. Camella's coming around. Jaguar rocket trying to come in here. Scraping into the nothingness. As we have another deck coming around. Units here failing to get the hits. With the +7. Taking down relatively fast here now. Canberra B2. Moving around. Jaguar rocket. Here. Get some hits out. Centurion gets the capture on. And with that, we will be on a +9 here in a second. Canberra at least gets got here, but yeah, just not all that many forces. More airmobile coming in. This one could actually move forward and try to get a kill here. The game is just falling apart. There's too much spam potential in the deck here that Fishy gave to their opponent. Fox moving around the flank. We'll get towards the spawn now. And yeah, hell of a lot of Scorpions here pushing forward. Puma at 30. Puma's going down. Some of us getting overwhelmed. Hawk T1A moving in there. Try to get the kill. Hawk T1A walking around the flank. Super Puma under fire. Gets shut down. And gets killed there. Well, all the units here just swarming towards the front line. And yeah, the Gazelle rockets is something I don't really understand in that deck, because those are actually really annoying to deal with. And they're super cheap, so they don't really fill out the deck. Like, they are one cost slot, and they only cost 20 points, so the whole card doesn't really fill the deck. Like, you kind of want to look for units that are pretty bad and at the same time cost a decent amount of points or slots, to fill out the enemy decks relatively quickly with bad units. And the Gazelle rockets are not great, but in this, they likely gonna be a bit too good. So yeah, with the +9 here, this is not looking all that good here for Fishy right now. And yeah, they might have built a bit too good of a deck. So GGVP here, Greyhound moving on with his 11th Para deck with a W. We will see Fishy against some of the other players that will lose in for the first round later on. And for now, let's move on to this match, because I'm really interested to see how this one will go. This one is Danish Polite, aka National Guard Master of Sex, Veteran Zero, versus Mike. And these two decks are absolutely bonkers. Especially Mike's deck. This is Mike's deck. And Mike has found a loophole that I didn't know existed. And that is the insane amount of AA slots in 79's guards. And you can fill out with a lot of shit. And yeah, that means the frontline infantry that his opponent gets here are the Eagles. The weak spot of this deck is the enemy has a lot of fighters and can strafe you. And the D30, I believe, has a direct fire roll, and the Godika as well. Outside of this deck has basically no fighting power whatsoever. ATGMs can be pretty decent as well. The deck that he has to use is all about it's I am supposed to call it Police Academy, and you can see why. It has a lot of military police, and it has a lot of HGMs, and that's the main part. It has actually decent recon. Um, I'm a bit worried about that. It doesn't have good AA and it doesn't have good fighters, so the fighter strafing strategy here will be important. There's not really much to see it here in this matchup, but yeah, this is going to be interesting. Me9s coming around from the get-go. But yeah, the AA department of 79 really a great find by Mike. I'm currently relatively confident that this might be is in the top 3 of the decks. It might be the best. We will see how it goes. There are a couple of other contenders, and I think the deck here that the Master of Sex brought us, aka Finnish Polite, does bring quite little to the table as well. So it should be an interesting fight, but yeah, Mike having Bull in command here with at least some infantry is going to be interesting. And yeah, it really is going to be Igla as frontline infantry. And we will have to we will see that in a couple of other matchups as well, where we will have man pads as infantry. The one good or decent thing is that Iglas are at least not super expensive compared to other man pads, and they're still decent at the man pads roll, so they can shoot down the Harriers. But yeah, this is basically the only direct fire next to the 7.6mm MGs that you easily get. And I believe the Quadzika can fire AT, but I'm not sure if it can fire HE direct fire. And same goes for the D30s. Otherwise, they could be relatively helpful as well. So with the amount of HGMs on the other side, that's actually not really that great. So yeah, it's going to come down to the 7.6mm plus the strafing power of the MiG-23s to deal with this. And it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Really, the AA tab, great find there. This AA tab is way too deep. Like, I don't know why 79 has such a deep AA tab. But I believe that's a leftover of the early days of WARNO. And Mike is exploiting it to the fullest, like you are supposed to do in this tournament. Okay. Oh, yeah, no. Right. With Godzika, have a direct fire roll, but it doesn't have HE. So I believe those will be tanks. And you can obviously also use them on the front line as artillery, like move them close and then also use them as artillery. But yeah, it comes a lot down to the positioning of the 7.6mm MGs. And the ATGMs are going to be helpful here against the Sonderwagen and against all the other enemy ATGM units as well. Sonderwagen 4 Aufklärung doesn't have any weapons, has very good optics though. And the other deck, I believe, has no recon whatsoever. Yeah. Yeah, no recon here whatsoever. If I would be Danish polite here, I would or I would use the planes from the get-go. Especially knowing that you have given the enemy helicopters as well. So 1 or 2 of those of those MiG-23s here, especially as those are cheap MiG-23s, could be pretty helpful. They are pretty decent at strafing as well, but this is not going to be an easy game for the left side here. As the setup seems to be a bit violent, this game's already live for a bit. Can just fast forward here a bit. And we'll see how this goes. Forwarding here into the start at least. Okay, this is actually a pretty long setup time. But there are a lot of military police to be deployed. And there are a couple of ATGMs here. Over Milan, Berlin. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, we have MiG-23s and a seat from the get-go. The UH helicopters, one being shut down, second one being shut down. That's an important start here. This is what you need to get done with those planes. This and more. The 30mm of the MiG-23s, MiG-27 and the 23mm here of the MiG-23s going to be key factors if you want to have a chance. As the left side player here. If he's capturing points, he's a direct push towards the middle here. E9 flying around, trying to get captured. Online snipers here. In a pretty decent spot. Gwozdika coming around the numbers. MiG-29 coming immediately out. Yeah, this is what you need to do if you want to have a shot here and immediately open up fire once you spot something. Issues, how do you spot snipers? How do you spot snipers when you don't have recon units? Oh, this is going to be annoying. The 7.6mm MGs getting into a decent spot here, though. Might allow the MiG-9 to get over there. Early +1 going on here. D30 coming around. 30 has a direct fire roll as well. And comes in an MTLB. Oh, this is fire support. This is glorious fire support. This shitbox might be one of the key units in this match. MTLB might be a key unit. It has armor, can't be penetrated by something like a Super Flam or a sniper. And it has an MG that can engage them with a lot of ammo. MTLB might become a key unit. MiGs flying around. Harrier has no chance whatsoever here. Trying to come around towards the south. The Mi-9 might be able to somewhat be used as a recon as well. The side hasn't brought any recon around, any AA around yet. The MiG-29s and MiG-23s for now can fly around, but they haven't found any spots for strafing yet. Okay, finally some damage here against some Freiwillige Polizeireserve. You will need a lot of strafing to make that successful, though. Ooh, and the Nali unit here coming around. Rover finds the kill. I got not quite in the right spot. MiG-29 here coming around for strafing. Does spot the Humvee. Gets the Humvee. That's big. Military patrol moving around. That will stop the take. Then you could move over in towards the center. CV numbers, I believe, in both these decks relatively low as well. Ooh, Fagot team running a bit close here. You don't want to sell the UWATSs, and you need the MTLBs. Mi-9 needs to get out of there. Needs to move towards the center. Oh no, got stickers. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, they get caught out here. They don't have smoke. They're good bit outside of getting out of range. Yeah, there is currently not quite enough damage in the strafing here. MiG-23 now trying to do it. The MiG-29 here needs to get out. Whenever your units are out of ammo, you need to reload them because they are your damage dealers here. They are the only units of yours that actually can deal damage. So this is pretty important. 23 coming around again. The Gwozdika went down. And the rovers pushing forward. Terrible little units here all around the board. MTLBs so key in this matchup. They're not allowed to just lose them towards against some rovers, but the rover number is just getting a bit out of hand here. Conquerors unloading. Me9 just flying around, trying to capture points, but there is a command voltager in here. It is now on the hunt. That's a good idea. Fifth creation that is going on here. Now the Igla teams come in. Get air. Possibly your best recon. They have exceptional stealth as well. But losing MTLBs here, that is painful. B teams getting out. D30s haven't really found a spot to engage. And the MTLB numbers being reduced here. D30 under fire. Gets gunned down. 23 needs to get some strafing online. XD30 on the fire. 7.6mm MGs is doing a good job. 23 actually going for the supply truck. There goes the next D30. How is the supply situation here? Actually not quite sure how much Mike got from the deck. Yeah, no, he has 3 cards of supplies, so going after the supply is not really the way of dealing with this. Okay, that's a decent hit. Lead and MiG-23 damaged. BAB pushing forward. But Igla teams get out here now as infantry units with their 150 round of AK ammo. Watson's pushing forward, trying to spot the enemy here as well. But now the javelin numbers start to get in here. Me9 CV still trying to find a spot. Maybe going towards Charlie. This one doesn't have radar AA, so this won't be hit by the seed missiles either. And yeah, the sappers and the military police here getting reduced in numbers by the strafing runs, but they are still alive. And the planes are running out of ammo here again. These two still have some. Trying to go for the rover. Perflam goes down. BRDM gets shut down in the rear though. And the situation here currently not looking all that rosy for our player in red, as the +5 here for Mike is pretty powerful. MiG-23s strafing into the emptiness, and the Igla teams are getting overwhelmed here. There are a good couple more there, but it seems like Mike's deck here currently on a good path. On a good path. +5 online. 7 minutes to go with that. Freiwillige Polizeireserve finally goes down. But these planes would have to go back quicker for reload. You can't have any of the 0 ammunition planes hanging around, because that just means that it takes longer to reload them. And they are your damage output here. They are the units that actually can kill, because the other ones you actually kind of don't want to fight with, because you can't replace them. The RDM there going down again. Yeah, there's just way too much here. Obviously, the players don't quite see difference, but the numerical advantage that Mike has here now on the battlefield is big. And by now, with the Rapier FSAs arriving as well, situation is not developing well here. for our player in red. Big 23 trying to come in, gets the TRM 2000. Decent hit there. Big 23 ML gets hit. And it pushed out. What's moving around here, trying to get it into a decent spot. As Evasion with the +5 is just not getting any better. The Me 9 here. Oh no! Landing slightly off outside. But already survived 2 shots of a Mistral. Doesn't really want to take off here again, but has to. And yeah, that kills it. Mistral positioning there. A bit too much AA here going on for this. MiG-29 coming around. Coming in for the strafing run. Gets the UH. Really, really good hit here. And get a situation here. Currently not developing in favor of the red side. As yeah, it's just the blindness. Just no recon around. MTLVs could be pretty important. But yeah, giving the enemy side recon already is a pretty big advantage. I considered that in when I built my version of the deck as well, but I was so focused on not giving the enemy any higher number of AT weapons. I still had to give them recon. But yeah, the 79th with that AA tab, really a phenomenal find by Mike, and something that might get him pretty far in this tournament here right now. Like, that deck looks really potent. And all of the units going down. 4 minutes to go. ATGMs here, finding more and more victims. It's kind of interesting that, yeah, pushing the quadruple 7.6mm here was something that Mike never dared, but he has good artillery now. He can't just teach it down with that. He has some waters around as well. And this is going pretty well here now for our player in blue. 3 minutes 38 still remaining, but I believe we can speed this up here now a bit. Get us towards the next round. I don't believe this will last much longer. As yeah, the infantry now overwhelms the remaining units here. Only hotel and golf holding out, and the planes trying their best to do the strafing. And they do decent damage here, but there's not way too much AA. The snowball of the planes just strafing down enough didn't happen. And now the enemy side just has too much going on here. Like, you need the better traits from the get-go with the planes, so that the enemy can't just afford all the AA units that you gave them. Because at some point, manpads just become a wall, and yeah, now all the planes go down. Last couple of seconds here going on, and we are moving towards the next round here. And with that, the first round is finished, and the second round will have Mike versus Hippie and Greyhound versus Lord Zyvan. Whilst waiting for the sweets, aka Fishy, will play against Curiously, and Cindy, who lost against Hippie, will play against Master of Sex that we just saw. And yeah, Mike versus Hippie is a really interesting one. Mike's deck we just saw in action. That one is a really, really good deck in being terrible. And Hippie's deck is kinda similar idea. A tap obviously filled with a lot of stingers as well. It's a lot of attack aircraft, which obviously is not great when the other side has fighters. And it has a lot of heavy tanks. Or it has 10 heavy tanks around. And then a lot of artillery with a Bob. The only infantry that you get is an engineer leader in an M113. No forward deployment, no fast units outside of the stingers in a jeep. So your stingers are your recon. They can be helpful against the fighters, protecting your strike aircraft and so on. This will be an interesting one. And yeah, this should be a really, really interesting one, as we have Mike versus Hippie, and we have Cindy. Yeah, I'm just informing the players right now who is up against whom. Greyhound versus Taiwan. Seriously versus Fishy. And Cindy versus so this should be interesting. So yeah, Mike really doing well here with the deck. But this was also like Mike's 79. When I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. This is really contender material. But Hippie's deck has similar power in just being absolutely blind. Like blindness being a big issue for both decks. Mike has some AT weapons in his deck, and those AT weapons being BRDM two Conquerors, which are pretty hard to find. That could be dangerous for him. That he gives that to the opponent together with Fagot and Conquerors teams. The issue for Hippie will be that, like, if the tanks ever get into a position, he can't really push them, and he doesn't have infantry either. Like, he outnumbers the enemy by 1 card of manpads, and by the 12 MGs, whilst the other side only has those M113s with the engineer leader. But the M113 A3 at least has a 50 cal on top, so that could be quite helpful as well. And yeah, this should be pretty interesting. Hot Saivan versus Greyhound here. Oh no, that was old. Okay, waiting for the next round to go up. And yeah, with that, we could also go through the other two decks that we haven't seen yet. We didn't see Zaiwan. Zaiwan has Durain one with actually a lot of tanks. So, and a lot of fighter planes. And some normal infantry. Like, this is a mostly it sucks to be like this could go as a normal Durain deck, basically. But it's still Durain, so and the amount of M40 A1s and the 7.6mm MGs, like, yes, it's annoying to not have full-sized infantry, but there's a bit of in between here, so this one looks way more normal than what the other two decks that we just saw. But still interesting. And then curiously has another deck of like, oh yeah, picking a terrible division, but the issue is these terrible divisions actually have pretty cheap units usually. And that means that you usually have to give your units, your enemy combined arms, and that's what is happening here. This curiously has actually quite a lot of tanks in this. As a lot of people have given away ATGMs pretty freely, this could work out, but it also has 40 infantry units. And I believe you can't give your opponent both. Like, you could go with giving them a lot of tanks and no recon. And no infantry. And then just a lot of ATGMs or so, like tanks and ATGMs. But you can't do both of this. Like, you can't give them tanks and infantry. Like, this is already above the curve in this. So that's, I believe, the reason why it lost. As it also has decent fire support AA. Like, the AA is not good against planes. And the other side only has 2 MiG-21s. But that one also didn't give any good bombers here. The anti-tank here, there is only one ATGM here. The M40, so yeah, this must have been a pretty interesting match as well. And yeah, those are the decks, and then we have my deck, which is no infantry AT on any of the infantry. A lot of mortars and artillery pieces. Only 2 units of supply, because only 1 card of supply is needed, and I had the points open to upvet them. Obviously Fliegerfaust, and then we have the AT weapons and the 20mm Crackers coming in the big CH-53 helicopters. I'm a bit sad that you can't bring the Crackers ammunition anymore in those, because otherwise that would have been a lot of easy points again, and then you could have maybe moved out one of the ATGM units or so. But yeah, this is the deck I did build in case somebody needed to be replaced. It still has a good amount of anti-infantry firepower. And it has decent recon, so that would be the issue. But it doesn't have any good planes. Like, it has a warfare plane, but no real reason for it. And yeah, the recon tab maybe a bit too good, but didn't really have the slots to put it elsewhere. So no. The Mike deck is properly terrible. Like, this, I believe this is the worst deck. Like, we'll see if Mike can beat Hippie, or if Hippie can make this work against his own terrible one. But yeah, Greyhound's deck also relatively bad, but has still 3 cards of Aeromobile. Like, 1 card too many, or 2 cards too many, like at least 1 card too many Aeromobile to really qualify as fully terrible. Like, I feel like there would have been an option to put that somewhere else. No long range AT for sure is something. Like, yeah, but I feel like 11th power, I should be able to do that a bit worse. Where is 11th power? Where's the deck? Greyhound. There we go. Like, he couldn't slot any more CVs in here. So that's why he did that. But he didn't need to fill out this slot. He could have... Well, you don't want to give HGMs. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But he didn't give any AA planes. Right, okay. Okay, yeah, that was... I thought he had some AA planes in there. Aeromobiles are pretty expensive. That's why they're here, because they won't have 5 points. Yeah, maybe that is the limit of this deck, actually, if you want to build it for around that. Makes sense in the end. But yeah. Hey. Yeah, we will go into Hippie versus Mike. Second round here. Okay. So here we go, Mike versus Hippie. And we are unsurrounded. The players also voted for the maps. Don't blame me for this, guys. Because obviously terrible divisions also have to be played on terrible maps. Though I actually like surrounded more than the average bloke. I'm not having the worst of games on this map. I'm not a big fan of Cliff at all, though. Final map going to be good old reliable Vertigo. Okay. And yeah, here we go. Coops coming in numbers. Okay, triple Coop coming in. We have Conquerors. Hippie has the speed advantage in it. I'm really interested to see how Mike is going to handle the M1A1 scenario. There is no infantry AT here for Hippie. He has to use ATGMs to deal with them. I believe the tanks are actually the safest in the town. Because they want to have as short of a range as possible. Or like only medium ranges against those ATGMs. And you kind of just want to hold Foxtrot and the 3 center points. Like, just drive the tanks in there. There is no AT plane here that he has to worry about. So I believe Mike's deck here has a decent shot at this. The amount of Forgotten Conquerors are dangerous, and if Hippie is fast with this TVs here, he could get a nice point lead from the get-go. But yeah, killing any single M1A1 is going to be tough. Issue for Mike is this is his supply. So any damaged M1A1 has to go on to a long journey back home, repair up here, and then go back. Okay, he has a CV helicopter as well. So this is going to be a really tough one. Let's... Hello everybody. And yeah, the coups here, the triple coup makes sense because he has given the other deck, like Hippie's deck actually has good strike aircraft. Issue for Mike is that he has given the opponent good AA and good fighters. So the Wild Weasel actually might be key here. That can get you through. And I believe you need the Stingers as fast forward deployment recon. You could use the mortar here as 50 cal 5 support as well. The M113A3 of the engineer leader will be key as well. You have 2 Bradleys here. Or 3 Bradleys actually as well. And all of those Bradleys also can only die to the ATGMs. So they obviously die a bit easier to those. So you have to be a bit more careful, but they can run over everything else as well. So yeah, this I feel like already kind of feels like the match of the, like, on the first glance, 2 worst divisions here in round 2. Because they really did get terrible divisions together here. Like, when it comes to just looking at it, like, Greyhound's division could be pretty bad as well, but I'm not quite sure if it's actually holding up with these. We analyze it, but yeah, I'm not quite sure if 11 Farad is capable of such a bad deck. Obviously, like, you usually want to overstack into some stuff, and yeah, the overstacking into AA here really great 79th, and kind of shows you that, like, these are the 2 oldest divisions in WARNO, Yeah, kind of shows you that there are still a couple of legacy issues with the decks and the slots and so on from the beginning. Like, there's no reason why 79th has one of the biggest AA tabs in the game. Uh, but yeah, it just has it. And like has found it. And that those are the kind of things that you need to make this work. Yeah, this is important. The stingers coming around as a recon. Then I believe you want an M1A1. Because nothing can touch it. Like you or like usually what them pairs. It's not like a AAT plane can snipe them or anything. Like sure you don't have any recon for them, but neither has the enemy. And as long as you keep them around in pairs, still gonna be good. And okay, we have two Abrams, or it's a Bradley and an Abrams around. Where the hell are they going? What? Okay. I'm interested to see what Mike's plan is with this. Is he just trying to get into Bravo? I mean, if he can put that unit into Bravo, into a decent spot where the enemy can't just unload ATMs on top of him, like, there's no way that you really push out the Bradley ever with the deck that Hippie got here. So, this might be a good idea. Might not be. We'll see. On the other side, where are the Conquerors going? Okay, the Conquerors going to the normal spots here, going fast, going hard, trying to ambush the enemy spawn here. 7.6mm MGs being used from the get-go. Wonder if they're gonna sell their transports here. I feel like at least on half of your little uh, jeeps here, you want to keep them around just as cheap recon. Just as 20 point finding the enemy contact units. Supply-wise, Mike has given Hippie quite a bit. Like, that is one of the good things about this deck. You have 3 cards of full supply. So, the Conquerors and the Fagots should never run out of ammo. He also has a lot of smoke mortars to do smoke mortar shenanigans to capture points, which might come down to. The engineer leader is one that is actually pretty big, so it's actually a pretty decent fighting force, which can be really important as well. It can kill a lot of Igla squads, but it doesn't have any AT. And yeah, the 50 cal of the M113 here gonna be important as well. Okay. Yeah, I like these guys as well. They are a nice 50 cal with extra upside of the mortar. Obviously, completely terribly priced for just being used for the 50 cal, but gotta use what you get. And yeah, getting some fire support here is pretty key. They don't have smoke capability on the vehicle itself. They can't just smoke themselves off, which is going to be bad against the BRDM Conquerors that are coming for them. So I'm a bit worried for the two smoke mortars here. I feel like you should move them alongside your stingers as fire support against enemy infantry. But yeah, 5 CVs here from the get-go, fielded by Mike. Out of the 7 that he gets. Me9 and Blackhawk both moving around, going for some capture points here. And will land first, but the Blackhawk also is going for a further away capture point. And will arrive there before the BRDM can do anything about that. Bradley will do a safe job here as well. Defense of Bradley here, that makes perfect sense as well. What's the Stinger and the Engineers all moving through the center. The firepower advantage here will be going to Hippie by a big amount though, with those 7.6mm MGs. Like, this is one of the big advantages, that card of decent fire support that can rip the Stingers to shreds here. Need some tanks or so to deal with them, or artillery, or bombs. Bradley here now. is going on to the sideline journey, it seems like. Stingers moving around. 7.6 are great as fire support in bigger infantry fights currently. But if they're your only infantry, they're still not that great. Ooh, mortar team. Doesn't get off the road in time, I believe. Yeah, no, doesn't. And that kills it here. And the other units here moving forward. Bradley needs to move further forward. Stingers all being left out. Mortar team goes down. The M1A1 moving around. Yeah, he's being used a bit as recon here as well. What's this on Hippie's side being sold? A lot of coops here in the middle. Stinger teams have to be careful. M113 here is a key unit, but there is a Conqueror, so it has to be careful on how it approaches all of this. The UH coming around. No Eagler teams here out yet, so the UH actually can be a decent little recon unit here. Has to be careful of the coops though, obviously. M113 involved. M1A1 getting decently close here to the Conquerors. These rangers should be able to spot them once they fire at least. There we go. The first one goes down. Smoke is popped. Issues long way. Well, actually not that long of a way back here, but still a decently long way back. You at least can push the M1A1s through forest because you know the enemy doesn't have any infantry AT, so yeah, they can't just ambush you there. UH actually coming in as fire support. Oh right, I didn't quite remember that this actually has some anti-infantry capabilities, and these guys over here, they don't. So yeah, Mike here microing, altitude changing, trying to get the shots out of the coops. Now the coops got some shots out. Ooh. UH disengaging as the coops push forward. Conquerors went down. UH is lucky. And the M113 with the coops down, Conquerors down here can do a bit more fire support again. M1A1's moving around. Stinger getting out there. +2 currently for Hippie, but once the M1A1s get rolling here, this is going to be a problem. Stinger under fire. Needs to get the hell out of this building. Whilst the mess is going on. Still going on here. BRDM conquers with terrible line of sights here. Mike maybe a bit too cautious with his M1A1s here. Yeah, BRDM 2 realizing that this is not the right spot. Stinger's now coming around as the recon for them. M1A1s have mediocre optics. Stingers at least have normal optics. This is still not good, but an improvement. Meanwhile, M113 here finds another 7.6mm MG, and you only get 12 of these as Hippie. Once they die, your fire advantage is mostly down. The Eaglas that you get are still a bit more efficient in dealing with infantry than the Stingers on the other side, because the Stingers pay for the better AA weapons, so indirect infantry fights you still have a bit of an advantage there, but BRDM 2 Conquerors here going a bit too deep. Bradley? Wait, Bradley? Bradley? What happened? Or lost... How did... What? Okay, now spots it. And gets the better of it. BRDM 2U here in trouble. Gets shut down as well. Bradley's doing their job. Seed plane coming in for the strafing run. 30mm doing its job. A lot of Stingers flying out. And it gets shut down. M1A1 here. Helping out the Stinger teams. Needs to be a bit faster in the northern part, so that the Stinger team doesn't go down. Stinger team there in a lot of trouble, but the southern one already successful. Northern 7.6mm MG team in trouble as well. And this is the playing with fire of giving the enemy side M1A1s. Once 4 of them are around on the battlefield and you don't have any infantry AT, then it becomes problematic. You have the big speed advantage. Fagot team here coming around. M1A1 now with frontal armor, able to engage a bit more here. You had the 7.6mm teams all down. Fagot team goes down as well. Conqueror's teams actually can kill them. Fagot teams will only do slight poke damage. A lot of Iglas coming around. As the Stinger teams here moving forward, trying to be the scouts for the M1A1 for the southern push. The Bradley in the south was forgotten by Mike. This should have continued doing its journey. Like, this is a big mistake, or it's just there's a defensive unit expecting some flanking maneuvers from Hippie. I'm not quite sure. Maybe being too deep into Hippie's mind games. Obviously, Hippie likes to do some shenanigans, but this is a bit too much of an investment there. So, the engineer leaders need to push forward. Igla teams now using their cost efficiency advantage, but the engineer leader will just shred through all of them with the double M60. The mortars are big here. M1A1 could just push on towards them as well. I'm not quite sure how if Mike has fully realized how aggressive he can be in forest with them. M1A1 now finding the first BRDM conquerors here as well. Goes down. M151s here coming around to spot more of them. M1A1s pushing forward. And another one goes down. Damage here is dealt, but not lethal. And the M1A1s keep on coming. The M151 gets too close though. Now eats the ammo of the own M1A1s. CV here needs to come in to stop the take. 30 minutes still remaining. Oh, and here come the E30s and the Gwazdicas. And the engineer leader is caught in the crossfire. M1A1HA coming in. 21 frontal armor, so the Conqueror is even only dealing 1 damage per hit to them. Me9 here in trouble. Can't really easily escape at this point with all the stingers around, so might as well try to get as many points out of it as possible. Whilst Conquerors can come around again. Good smoke usage here. Getting 2 Conquerors in trouble as the M1A1 now gets closer. Me9 goes down. M1A1's pushing on top of the BRDM. It's not disengaging. It's out of ammo. So it's going to go down. Engineer leader captures this zone here. The other one had to evacuate though. But the M1A1s here can go full aggression. Like, they have to be careful around every corner that there is, if there is an ATGM. But as long as you micro them in the town, you can go full aggression in the town as well. And that's what this M1A1 is now trying to achieve. Okay, trying to get rid of the Strela here. Strela not really an issue. Like, Strela is only like a glorified recon unit at this point. Not quite, because there is still the option of some actual planes going up. But yeah, now the BRDM Conquerors line here. This is not the territory that you want to fight. This is actually better tank territory here right now. Obviously, that is against any WARNO feeling. You never would go into this town in a normal WARNO fight with M1A1HA. But with the decks that these two players get, and Mike knows what is in the other deck, this is actually the perfect tank country, and this is the worst possible area that he could be in right now with his M1A1s, so needs to get the hell out of there. Like, this range is fine, but yeah, he doesn't want to be at the ranges he is at right now. Might want to go back to the field supply point with this one, getting it repaired. Gets the capture back here, still a +1 for Hippie, but M1A1's here now, pushing in the middle. 1 M1A1 down, 4 on the battlefield, 5 more to go in the deck. There's 10 of them total. And yeah, they can open up fire here now a bit more. HA can eat Conqueror's shots for days. Just needs something to spot it eventually. Currently doesn't have that. Well, the M1A1 here now pushing forward. Obviously in buildings, the whole situation is a bit more tense than normal. 7.6mm MG teams and Fagots under fire. Another M1A1HA coming up. Igla teams under fire. As the Conquerors and the 7.6mm here doing their best job. +1 here going on. The Abrams here now on the way back home to the field supply point. I don't think sending both back is a good idea, but sending one back, absolutely fine. With the kill on all the CVs here, the UH can come back here. And the Bradley should be found and should be brought back. Like, this Bradley just being wasted here is a mistake. Stinger team's pushing forward. Oh, BRDM gets found. You don't have endless numbers of these as hippie as well. You have 2 cards at least. But... oh, Conquer's side shot finds another Abrams. We're down to 8. Conquer's numbers here getting reduced though. Stinger team pushing forward. Ooh, more Conquerors and Fagots coming around. The artillery pieces aren't used yet. Mortar team coming in. Artillery could be helpful here at this point for Mike as well, but obviously with the having to afford the M1A1s, it's not easy. Engineers moving forward. Oh, seed plane coming around. The 5 damage here on the rear armor of the M1A1 actually dealing damage, but not quite enough. Artillery coming in for the M1A1HA as well. It has to get out of there for now. Can help out a bit more. Yeah, I would like to see some artillery on the other side as well. You have a FOB, so you can, or an FSP here with 16,000 supplies, so you can use artillery from there for days. Conquerors here now pushing in a bit again. Pig has been stopped right now. There's both engineer leaders here currently moving around, but they have to be really careful with all the artillery coming up. Another HA Abrams here showing up. Oh, no. Oh, no, it shot side armor the last second. Ah, the movement there. Big mistake by Mike. So we're down to 7 now. Another one coming up here. 2 on the repair. Ooh. 2 Bradleys here up north. And yeah, the Bradley in the south here. The Mike left around there. The engineer leaders have to be careful with the artillery likely coming in towards them now. Yeah. They have to get the hell out of there. Get into the zone here for a second. And 1A1HA can help out. The Conquerors now are the next unit that have to be careful. Because they don't have much support there right now. The 7.6mm goes down. Oh, the mortar just might find one kill here. Yeah. What 7mm mortar finding a kill. Abrams number 2 here now arriving. The other 2 from the rear. Realizing that the center is the best territory for them. Coming in there now as well. Another M1A1HA moving around towards the center as well. And yeah, this is quite a fight. Ooh, Conquerors. Fired another missile. Is out of ammo here now. Engineer leader has to be constantly moving. Doesn't want to get hit. If it goes down, the CV options here for the center aren't great. You don't want to move in with some of your Bradleys there. Yeah, 7.6mm MG here now being spotted. M1A1's doing a decent job. Engineer leader needs to get out of this building again. Start moving. Start rotating. These guys have a 16mm pen, 30% accuracy round. Potentially can deal damage there. It's heat, so it actually also hits frontally, only with 1 damage per hit. If they can find side or rear shots, they potentially could do some damage. MTLBs here, some of the best fire support unit that Hippie gets. They can hunt down stingers and engineer leaders without those units being able to retaliate. The seed plane with the good gun already being used up means that really nothing around here. Ooh, HE bomber. Oh, this might actually be a good run. Oh, okay, it only gets 1 kill there, and there comes all the MiG-23s. Getting the UH. Stinger teams here as recon in the rear. HA Abrams here now. Engaging more of the enemy units. It's 0 veteran CHAs, so they don't have the best optics. The best stress recovery. BRDM gets found. Ooh, HA Abrams in trouble. Gets the kill on the BRDM though. Engineer leader has to be careful. More Stinger teams might be helpful. Chaparrals could come around later as well. Yeah, frontal hit's not that impactful, but now the D30s actually even start to get shots out. D30 goes down over here though. Smoke coming around the Fagot team, and we have a +1 now for Mike. 23 minutes to go. 900 point lead for Hippie. Would be close. H8 coming around over here now. Cleans up some UATs, but we have a BRDM here on the other side. Deep into the enemy lines as well. Mortar team coming around. Artillery tab still not really found by Mike, but Mike keeps it up with the tanks now. Has another HA Abrams coming around. MiG-23s could be decent at strafing. And Hippie starts to really run out of units that have HE firepower as well. Fagot goes down. M1A1's slowly pushing there. Fagot team's under fire, and it looks pretty good for Mike now if he doesn't lose his CVs to random ATGMs. A lot of units of Hippie bound in the north, and Hippie tried to go to Foxtrot, but couldn't quite make it work. Could maybe still try to do that. Ooh, the MTB snaps are big! Oh, that would be a big capture. If he could keep one alive, that can come in and move back and forth from his fob. That would be a massive victory if he could keep that MTLB snap alive. That would make the resupply life of his so much easier long term. But I believe the Abrams are already good enough here as is. Fagot team here gets overwhelmed. Cube team's getting overrun. Mike on the +1. Hippie hasn't found a way back into the south. Is moving in with a lot of mortar teams now, but they just don't find the damage. Another BRDM conquers moving around, but yeah, the center town here, perfect M1A1 country here right now. It's starting to take out the cubes as well. We start to see an M109 here that tries to go towards the center. BRDM conquers moving around. Bradley TV still in here. The southern Bradley finally moves around, has to be careful. Is lucky that the BRDM conquerors did move away. As... oh, the CV went down! The engineer leader went down. Okay. I believe that leaves one UH that hasn't been bought yet. And the 3 Bradley CVs that are on the map. That's why this Bradley CV has to move here. Ooh, and the Conquerors actually has potential for some shenanigans there. Not quite sure how many Stinger and Eagler teams are alive on both sides still. That haven't been used up yet. Oh, H.A. Abrams. Smoking off. MTLB Snap still alive. M109 has to be careful here. Bradley just fast moving through here. Leaving the mortar out to die. Mortar coming out a bit late. H.A. Abrams here now. Trying to get some flanks onto the mortars. Bradley moving in. Try to get the +3. Oh, Bradley here. Does go down. BRDM from the north moving in. Tanks have to rotate around. There are 5 of them here, so 6 and 7 down here. That's all the tanks on the battlefield. Artillery currently not coming around. Mike gets the capture here. Will go up to a +2 with that, but not when Hippie gets into Foxtrot. Ooh. More 20mm was a mortar going down. Next mortar here under fire. BRDM Conquerors going deep. BRDM Conquerors really being the most dangerous unit. Snap here only doing refueling jobs now. This is such a big job. And like this is such a key unit here right now. Having a supply unit that is actually able to move from your field supply point to the front line could be pretty big. But yeah, Mike now needs to find a new CV position. And somehow needs to find Foxtrot back. Chaparrals being used here. Hippie has no resupply for these units. One of them still has 9. The other only has 2 missiles. So the Chaparral might be able to soak them out. Trella moved with all of this. So the UHCV would be coming in badly here. Planes could be helpful. BRDM here doesn't have any anti-infantry power. When Tippy is now running rings around the Rosie. First Conqueror's missile does miss. Okay. Yeah, this needs to move in. MTLB snap needs to refuel and then move back as well. Okay, there we go. A bit overkill. Fighters of Hippies moving out. Chaparrals are still around. Smoke play going around here. These two tanks being stationary. The Bradley from the north needs to get active here. Rotate around, get in there. These guys now need to move in. 2 centuries here in the south doing a decent job as well. Troops actually just coming in as recon. With a couple of ATGMs behind them. The RDM Conquers will reveal itself here in a second. Or not. Does just get stuck aiming. Oh no, but the Bradley is moving the other way. Oh, but there's no Bradley. BRDM Conquers over here. PKM gets found. Strela might get found as well. Yeah, Bradley here now moving in. Chaparral moving in as well. BRDM Conquers not finding Jack. Abrams getting this stuff. The MTLB could be really efficient for the resupply now. Guardian 2U needs to move out. Cube runs into Abrams fire. No ATGM teams left. Artillery is left, but it will get overwhelmed here in a second. The 7.6mm MG gets overwhelmed. On the other side, it's a lot of chaparrals, and they might allow you to actually use your attack planes. If they start to shoot down some MiG-29s and MiG-23s here. Just MiG-29 down. 23s have to be careful in this scenario now as well. Yeah, trying to get home. Bradley hunting here. M1A1 moving around. Fagot team gets spotted. The M1A1HA can engage there as well. Bradley nearly running out of fuel. Oh, this Abram here actually nearly out of fuel as well. Yeah, the MTLB should be careful starting refuel runs here. 15 minutes to go. Is about to be captured. And the Bradley is catching up to the BRDM. More Igla teams actually coming around here. As infantry. This is big. The stolen supply is key here. Refueled this Abrams. Now should go home. Has to be careful though with the BRDM Conqueror still around. Bradley finds the spot. M1A1 here. Rotating around. BRDM hiding further behind. Chaparral might just catch that. Yeah, is being brought up just to have another unit there. Just to have another pair of eyes. As the siege towards Gulf has started. There is still another Conquerors here. There are still some NGs here. So this has to be careful. The snap is a key unit here. As a lot of units start to run low on fuel. And another run towards the +2 point in the rear has started here by Hippie. Conqueror's team down to only 3 shots. But the M1A1 starts moving. Napalm Bomber coming in, can find the Conqueror's team. Or not, because Coop's still around. This M1A1 here rotating away. RDM moving. MTLB snap now starts moving. Might actually just move in time to spot this. RDM might have seen this. But Bradley moves around for the capture. Ooh! M1A1 under trouble. Artillery here landing. BRDM does miss the shot. 1A1 has to get into a better cover position though. BRDM gets into the rear. No, the MDLB snap! Don't. Okay, doesn't go down just yet, but will go down here. Oh, and that means no refuel for all those tanks left out in the open that can't quite make it back to the resupply point. So you have to be even more careful now with how you move. This, for example, here running pretty low. Oh, the snap going down is big. Bradley still has enough fuel to move it back. It hasn't moved as much as some of the other units, but this BRDM still being able to run around is pretty big. This will still leave Mike as a +1 here. We have to capture in the north. But this Bradley, for example, I just maybe make it back, but oh, the MTLB snap not moving earlier. Oh, this might get intense. Ooh. Cabral trying to find more spots. RDM hiding again. Bradley moving around. Supply situation here, big issue. And there comes the big Igla wave. Oh no, the Abrams actually now rotating back. You need them here in the middle. Can't just rotate them all back. No. Keep them in the middle, yeah. Like this one was a good position. Okay, the RDM Conquerors reveals itself. This is the time for the M1A1HA to push out. Bishop Ral's lost, but that is fine if you get the Perpetrator for it. You should be able to. Oh, misses. Might be a stun here. Nope. Okay. Another shot. We'll leave it at 1 HP. This is a stun. Oh, no. This one now down to 2 supply. Kills another one, though. Question is, does Heavy have any more CV outside of this one? Because it's now a +5 situation here. Conquers finds another kill. HE cluster bombers will find the kill there. Oh, another Abrams down. F111 and Napalm Phantoms here around on the battlefield. BRDM trying to find a new angle. Artillery here on target against the M1A1s. 10 minutes to go. +5 currently is big. Oh no! Oh, the Napalms found the Hornet's Nest. Napalm Phantoms found the Hornet's Nest. M1A1s could just kill all of this. There's nothing that can deal with it anymore in that area of the map. But the supply situation here is bad. And the M1A1HA down here went down. Oh, and the MiG-23 might find the kill here in the rear as well. +5 currently is massive for Mike. We'll get him up in a pretty short time, but CV here moving around in the south right now. It seems like he doesn't have any Stinger teams left. He's using Chaparrals relatively aggressively now. Bradley tries to get back for resupply. Whilst M1A1 here is just driving into the point. But has to be careful to not run out of ammo. Okay, finds the Fagot. But BRDM Conquer is still around. Bradley here. Ooh, another M1A1 goes down. Oh, cluster bomber coming in. Drops. Is it on target? No, it's not. F111 failing to do the job. We have M109s coming around. Yeah, we still have cluster artillery around as well. And Hippie, this might be his last CV here. Chaparrals trying to find the enemy spawn. This is also the one of 2 CVs on the other side, though. Bradley moving around. Artillery firing towards it. Capturing another supply unit would be big here right now. Cabral moving around. BRDM gets out of there. +5 about to get him over the line. This should be able to get full refuel. Okay, he moves his own Chaparral into the fire zone here. That's a mistake. Bradley just makes it barely home for the full refuel. And yeah, losing the resupply vehicle really made it kind of close here again. But killing the last couple of AT weapons here on the map right now. The BRDM going down. And he is now ahead on points. And he is on a +5. And in 8 minutes for only 1 CV for Hippie here to get in around enough to actually capture enough points to make this work is relatively unlikely. Another MTLB snap that could be captured here. He has to be careful to not kill it. He wants that. He really wants that. That would allow him to finally get some refuels going. Oh no, he's killing it. He's killing it. He should turn off shooting on supplies. That would have been big. That could have resupplied this Bradley, for example, and then go back and get some more. This Bradley now is fully refueled. Could go back to the front line. Situation still looking pretty good here. Well, this M1A1 here is just a unit that can't be overcome. Has to be moving in super small fuel steps, so it does never just stand down. As we have another CV run of the BRDM in the middle. And this Bradley needs to go back to Foxtrot immediately. 300-point lead now. Is pretty big though. Bradley now starts moving here. Where's it going? Yeah, this is where it needs to go. Losing the middle by now won't lose him the game anymore. Even if it will switch around from a +5 to a +1 for Hippie, but with only 6 minutes on the clock and now 400 points lead, that wouldn't be good enough. BRDM is trying its best here to do it, but M1A1's here also trying to get into its way. This M1A1 here trying to find a line of sight as well. Big smoke path here through the center. M1A1's desperately trying to get in there. Just can't let the rear here go through. Yeah. You have to use it now again. Konstantinos, sorry. Or, yeah. I'm sorry. I figured out why they are not working for you guys anymore. I still hear them. Let me do that. GG! No, I should have heard it. Yeah, BRDM here, moving around, changing it from a +2. Currently still going on. Bradley has just to be careful to not overextend here. Fly run. Yeah, they can't intercept. The Abrams need to be careful to just strand in weird spots. BRDM. Yeah, they're running low on fuel here now. Oh, might be found here though. BRDM moving to the other side. Abrams could stay here. Smoke is getting out. Okay, this is still fine though for Mike. BRDM now trying to do the deep run. This is the run that he can't let happen, but he's letting it happen right now. Okay, but he could just take the middle back, which should still get him far enough. Abrams here. Desperate to intercept. Bradley moves around. Oh no, that's not where this thing is yet. It came a bit early. BRDM might get intercepted on this small stretch here. So likely won't get much damage there. 1A1 just arrives in time, but is about to run out of fuel. Yeah, not enough time there to get on. Bradley here got damaged a bit. Couple more units moving with it. The cluster artillery is not out yet. I don't know why. Like at this point, you have enough points to buy it. For sure. But it's still +1 here, only 3 minutes. It will be a +3 for Hippie, but that's still not good enough. There's the Chaparrals and the HAs here moving around. Smoke Mortar trying its best. BRDM also still has enough fuel here, but the Bradley, thanks to the refueling action, has enough fuel as well. Yeah, cluster artillery never being around is weird. Like, those could be really helpful even against the infantry at this point. But especially against the enemies. One. Bradley here now, chasing this other Bradley in the south. Still preventing it, and looking good for Mike here. Bradley still having enough fuel to go around. 30M taking the long route. Abrams here now, getting into the spot to try to prevent that. Wild Weasel's not really doing anything. There are no coops left on the other side. Well, there's one in the south. That one is out of ammo. Oh. Okay, still gets shot there. Mike back to a +1. 2 minutes to go. Hippie is out of time here now. Did a good run here with the BRDM, but in the end, turns out 10 and 1A1 HAs are still pretty hard to beat if you don't have any tank guns or infantry AT to deal with them. M109 here coming around, pushing up. MiG-29 gets hit up. MTLB Strela pushing in. M1A1 getting decent damage in here as well, and Bradley here on the way to intercept BRDM that tries its dearest to get in there, but Mike even will get close to the 2,000 point lead here in the end. And this time around, the BRDM also will get intercepted here, so good find here for Mike now. Oh, or he will just drive past it, but the M1A1 here made it. Oh, that gets the kill. With that, gets the GG CVs all down. If Hippie would have had a second CV at the same time, he would have likely won. But he was out of CVs, and the final one didn't quite make it. So GGVP here to Mike. He really did build a completely horrendous deck. And just barely, but successfully did beat Hippie here. Yeah, job well done there. That was a terrible little matchup here. Well, Greyhound did beat Lord Simon. So that will be our final. Mike versus Greyhound. The other games, Cindy did lose here. Yeah, Mike did. Maybe we have to see. Last game still up? The last game might still be up. Yeah. We just go in there. They needed to switch decks a bit. Curious had to build a new deck here because Fishy doesn't have South Egg. So yeah, new deck has to be built. We'll see what that brings. Curious using Fishy's relatively decent, which is a bad thing here, London deck that we saw earlier already. We'll see how this one goes. And yeah, on the other side now we have a TKS with M48s, some Cognac pace, and a lot of pioneers getting into the fight here. No Hawk opener or Mass Hawk opener this time around. Puma trying to get in there. As we will fast forward a bit so that we catch up to the live. Go over +3. Scorpions here. Diesel Cannon, actually relatively dangerous if you don't have much 8A, but the Tornado and the Hawks should be able to deal with it. Good couple of them shut down here. Fox getting engaged by the Kanonjak Panzer. And we have Centurions moving around here. Heimat, M48s getting overwhelmed. Also, these Scorpions here getting to the action as well. Rockets moving around. Aeromobile getting overwhelmed, getting killed off. Good kill there. Kanonjak Panzer under fire. Gets finished off too. Well, Centurions here. Moving slowly around. Trying to find places. Hawk. Moving around in the north. Failing to achieve much there just yet. Gets the Super Puma though. Doesn't get killed on the way out. +3 though, currently for waiting for sweets. So the Rover CP here moving into the middle. Needs to start to do something there. Guards actually moving around. Yeah. Like, having actual tanks and infantry, as I said, like that's a mistake. So you want to fill the other slots as much as possible. And like giving the enemy either tanks, like we saw with Hippie, or infantry, like we saw with Greyhound. So if that is fine for this kind of matchup, but this would be terrible for normal ranked. These decks both seem to be relatively fine combined arms for this tournament. So still, obviously, yeah, a bit special nonetheless. But yeah, Kanonjak Panzer and M48s here. That's a normal show up of TKS here, trying its best. Reserve Pioniere, relatively cheap infantry. As the Rocket Hawk here comes in, Heimatjäger, Heimat 48s moving forward. Guards, Carl Gustav moving in as well. The Rocket Hawks trying their best. The Centurions actually losing the fights down here. As we have trash tank fights here in decent numbers. Guards of Carl Gustav could be pretty powerful here for the middle, but Pioneers on the other side are a bit of a problem. Scorpions holding the line for now. Centurions getting the better of them. More Centurions coming around. Getting some kills here. Heimat M48s going all down. Ooh, good bombing run. Yeah, I'm a bit interested to see how the firewall goes, because there is a decent amount of AA in fighters, and all the infantry comes in Super Pumas. So I actually think Greyhound might have a shot against the deck that we... with the deck against his own deck. That would be interesting. I'm looking forward to the finals. Like, I was a bit... Like, at first, like, yeah, the deck of Mike is just too bad. But reconsidering and looking how Greyhound's first game went, and that he won the second one now with it as well, like, final will be interesting. Meanwhile, this one here, currently +1 for Curious. Gets shut down in the air fights, both sides having decent planes here. Artillery actually coming around on the battlefield as well, as the blue side does lose the tank fights continuously down here, but has Chieftain Mark 1 force, and these are actually good tanks. Like, yeah, they are not good tanks, but they're actually, like, really cost-efficient tanks. So, the M48s here, having a bad day against them. Both sides obviously missing a lot, as accuracy is not the forte of either of these. And if stress goes up with the 0 veterancy here, doesn't get any better. Gina HE bombers coming around, as there is no AA on the other side right now, so the Ginas actually do get their bombs drove up, but the bombs are pretty anemic, so they didn't do much. That's for sure a bad plane. Gina with the more 19 kilogram bombs is basically just a firework machine. Gets shut down on the Canberra though, but both getting killed on the same long range sky slash super temp shot of the tornado. Also, yeah, Gina HE here coming around, trying to get a kill, gets shut down again. Gophers on the fire in the south. Chieftain Mark 1-4 getting some kills here as more rifle patrols moving into the center here. Able to unload. M48 getting shut down. Enough patrol here. Likely about to move forward. +2 now for the blue side. And tank fight in the north. More Chieftain Mark 1-4s have shown up here, and that's a big problem for the other side. No ATGMs to deal with them, and then their frontal armor is actually quite good, and the Canberra finding some good hits there as well. Hawk helping out. Chieftain Mark 9 just absolutely grinding through the M48s here. With the 12 frontal armor and decent 16 pen. Centurions here actually on high vet, doing a decent job as well. F104 AAs trying their best, but +2 here now. Going on. It's just keeps on ticking. M48's under fire. Rifle patrols going down. +2 taking on Rover CP, getting into the southern zone as the VLRA tries to open up fire. Good amount of kills here lately, but there's still too much blue here in the middle. Yeah, the deck, the HDR deck is looking a bit too standard. Like, it has bad versions of standard, but it's a bit too standard. It has a full-on combined arms, and that's just not something that you can allow your enemy because you want to exploit some gaps in the combined arms. So the full tank, infantry, artillery, air combo with a decent amount of AA is just a bit too good here. Like, even having decent bombers like the Canberra. HDR London here doing a pretty good job right now for Couriers, and that is not looking good here for Fishy. Or waiting for Sweets. This is the artillery now. They'll open up fire. We go. Have now more rifle patrols moving into the center. Units doing a pretty good job here. M48s pushing forward. Arc rockets coming in. Good run here. Beautiful little run. Not dealing much damage, but dealing some damage. And with the +3 here still taking on, situation is starting to get a bit out of hand for the TKS here. And yeah, really, Chieftain Mark 1-4 is not a tank. Like, one of the most cost-efficient tanks right now. Has a coaxium 50 cal, for example, with great rid of accuracy. And you don't want to fight that in this level. And there we go. GG is called. And with that, we have our final round. We have the final between Mike and Greyhound. Then we have Taiwan versus Hippie. Zindi versus Fishy, aka Waiting for Sweets. And then Seriously versus Danish Polite, aka National Guard Master of X Veteran Z0. So yeah, I'm really hyped for the final. And I'm interested to see how that will play out on Vertigo. So that would be pretty interesting here. as the deck that Mike now has to use to beat his own creation is this one here. And we saw that in the first series. And it looked actually, on the first look here, it actually looks kind of decent. But no long range AT. And the Super Pumas are really fragile to all the fighters. You get at least a couple of Mistrals here, and Pamelas, the Mistrals all in Super Pumas. You get 4 deploy VLRA, but they won't stop the fighters. But they could be helpful to gain ground and then bring up the Pamelas and then bring in your Super Pumas. Like, it will be a tough one to figure out. But obviously, like, this deck is not an easy one to use either. So, yeah, it will be an intense one. Once more, I believe the fighters will be key here. And yeah, we'll see how Mike and Greyhound will navigate this. So yeah, both sides here. Load up. Mike, aka Ships, here now. Setting up for the final versus Greyhound. Lobby is up. Obviously, both sides have the deck. No deck building needed or anything. That fully thrown in there. Yeah, the decks that we got here are really interesting. Like, those are the top 3 terrible decks. Like, Hippie's deck, I feel like, was really up there as well. And as I said, on the first glance, the deck of Greyhound seemed to be the best, which is the worst. Like, this seems to be the most playable on the first glance, but it actually might not be. We'll see. We'll see. Like, no fighters to protect all those bombers, but seed planes, they will be helpful against the coops, so if the seed micro needs to be on point. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it goes here now. Yep, any second. That's not it. Wrong map. Vertigo also, I feel like, is a good map here for Greyhound. Though, because he can use the HGMs there. Like, Greyhound here. Yep. Hippie versus Zyvan on Vertigo. That should be a good one as well. I don't believe Zyvan's deck quite can hold up. It was a bit too flexible there as well. Will be a really uphill battle. I believe he has AT weapons in there. He actually can use. Look here again. Yeah, he has M40 A1s. And those are going to be really annoying. And the Jaegers and Reservists have AT weapons as well. plus the AMX-13s. Yeah, this deck just seems to be a bit too good to really deal with the hippie stuff. A lot of fighters as well. Like, yeah. If you give the enemy a lot of fighters and AA, I feel like you aren't allowed to give them AT as well. That's where the line has to go. What the hell? Yeah, yeah, where to go? The 10 M1A1s, really interesting pick. Pretty big risk there by Hippie. It didn't quite work out in the last one, but it was close to. Like, the field supply point is just evil as well. Still don't get where the M270 clusters were, though. Like, those could have been really helpful in the late game with dealing with the enemy artillery. And also just, like, they don't deal good HE damage, but they deal HE damage. And you have endless supply, basically, for these things. So, those MLRs for sure could have been handy. And we have a couple of sales and so on units. You should have been able to afford them. Like, or I'm not quite sure. Maybe he just kept all the M151s, so and he didn't have the points just yet. The end. And yeah, let's see. There we go. Grand finals coming up. We have Greyhound versus Mike. Yeah, we have Mike on the blue side here on the right. Here on the left, the red. Coming around with the 79th. This will be a really important opener. Like, if Greyhound can't stop the Super Pumas from getting to all the spots, he's cooked. If he can keep the enemy back for the opener, he actually has a pretty decent shot. Like, one of the units I'm worried about that he has given the enemy is those ML60s. If we have a look here again. The Greyhound here. The VBLs are fine. The ML60, well, the VBLs are not fine either. They're a bit annoying to deal with as well. Your 7.6 millimeters can be run over by them. The ML60 with the grenade launcher is same thing. Like, your 7.6 millimeter MG teams that Mike has graciously given you, they will be in trouble there. Your Conquers and Fagots obviously can help with that. But yeah, this is the MTLBs, the 4 MTLBs here, or 8 MTLBs, is somewhat important as well. And yeah, the lack of recon here on this deck, pretty painful as well. And inside you have Gazelles and Pumas and those VBLs and AMLs. But yeah, this is going to be an uphill battle for Greyhound for the first couple of minutes. And then he has the better artillery park. Yeah, he's no artillery on the other side, I believe. It's easily given away. Or has he? Only mortars. So he has the artillery advantage with Matstika and the 30s. So you can use that on the map nicely if he starts to get into a good spot. And he can stop the bombing trains here as well. With the fighters that Mike has graciously giving him. Last days could be strafers as well. Yeah, the BRDM2 Conqueror is going to be a relatively important unit against those light vehicles. Can't help you against the Super Pumas, but that's where all the Eaglers come in. So once the first couple of Eaglers got into position, and the Super Pumas have to unload a good bit further in the back, then the PKMs can be helpful, but Zika can be helpful, D30s can be helpful. As I said, I feel like the MTLBs here, 15-point fire support, Not great fire support, but it is fire support. Could be pretty important. Yeah, the forward deploy CVs are a bit of an issue as well. Like, that will get a good point lead online here. The other side, you at least have BRDMs, you at least have fast CVs, but they will take a while. So, not gonna be an easy one here. Yeah, who do you guys think will win this? Let's make some gambling here. Will Greyhound be able to do it, or is my deck just too good of a curse deck? Action up now. Mike setting up here. He is bringing in the VBL Recon EM. He is a good idea. Two Super Pumas still coming around. And they are good anti-helicopter fighters, this time for real. Like, the Hawks didn't really work out as well in the first game. But this time Mike has given him the short-range MiG-23 MLs with 6 short-range R60s and a really solid gun. So, for Pumas, they have 8 hit points, but they still likely gonna get gunned down here, so the amount of Fagots and 7.6 millimeters, the current power of 7.6 millimeters really making this card somewhat scary, actually. They are so cheap that you still can afford the fighters and so on next to them. But yeah, the full-on AML 60 and VBL. I talked about how these are the 3 scary cards that kind of break the strategy a bit. And yeah, Mike is going all in on them. He has to be careful to not run into a bunch of Conquerors and Fagots and just die to those with this. There are a decent amount of BRDMs here coming around. And he has given the other side 12 of those BRDM to Conquerors. So those will be the key opening units here, it seems like. Well, yeah, the 2 MiG-23s or 3 MiG-23s that come around early. They can do a bit of damage strafing as well, but they're especially important to get those aero mobiles here down. So those, they're not even doing a long stretches. They're just flying in, hitting the infantry a bit closer, and then gonna drop down and unload. That makes sense. Makes your opener a lot slower, though. If you do that with all the aeromobile throughout the game, then you give the enemy a lot of a big speed advantage. And as I said, long game with the artillery and all on vertigo, there is decent chance that this actually might work out here long run wise for Greyhound here. Setup is starting to get into position. But yeah, Chad, I would really like to know your opinion. Like, who has the worst deck here? And how would you play this if you are Greyhound or Mike? I feel like Mike really has a decent setup here. But I like Greyhound's setup so far as well. Ooh, the double D30, interesting. Direct fire D30s basically here. Issue is that the HE doesn't fire directly. So they're decent anti-tank guns now basically against the VBLs. They are all going north. But for artillery purposes, you still have to aim with them, and then the mortars could get you there if you position this aggressively. With the MTLBs, you still have something to fall back into. Yeah, this is just pure fire support. Back in past patches where fire support was worse, this would have been a lot weaker even than it is right now. Currently, at least the 7.6mm MGs and so on are doing pretty well. Really well, actually. For the price point they go at. But they're still really low hit points and so on. Like, you can't just push with them when you only get 1 card. Like, if you get 3 cards or so, you could even just use them as push material, but with only 12 of them, Brown still has to be really careful how he uses them. But yeah, the massive amount of AA units, you can only use the E-Class basically as recon and light fighting units. Yeah, there comes the MiG-23. This is key. This opener has to be done. can be helpful for dealing with the gazelles, can be really helpful, especially dealing with the super pumas. Not having the best air optics, so super pumas here being spotted a bit late maybe. Oh, good hit against one, but not a kill. Would have been nice. Still might want to catch super pumas on the way out to at least stop the snowball from happening as quickly. 3-3s around. 33 here, flying around. One goes down. You stop them from being sold. That's still 45 points killed off each, and meaning that the enemy can't just immediately get another Super Puma filled with those aeromobiles coming around. Super Pumas here forced to land. Big 23 likely has to fall back, but could still help out with strafing over here. This shouldn't go into the town. Yeah, it's getting out here now. BRDM 2, the Conquerors moving around. ML actually firing direct shots here now. BBL sitting around as well. The BRDM moving around. MiG-23 can come in for the strafing over here. See what's being used as recon. Capture going on over here in the south. MiG-27 seat, yeah, 50 AT rounds. Actually decently capable. Flies around a lot of 20mm fire. Gets one BBL recon in the north. BRDM Conquerors helping out here. Oh, BRDM 2U here in trouble. Conquerors fails to get a hit. Gets a stun though. Second shot does miss as well. Oh, and it doesn't have another one ready, it seems like. Has to reload here. MiG-23 currently not being used. Could help out against the VBLs here as well, but it's just still flying in the enemy rear. Pamelas coming in. Yeah, not using the MiG-23s for strafing. I feel like this is something that you just can't afford with this deck. If he goes down on the north. MiG-27. Okay, coming in here for another strafing run. Gets the kill against another VBL recon. This is key. Needs to get the hell out of there. Or did you get another one? Oh, and here comes a mass Pamela. Fails to get the hit. Starting to let the enemy run out of ammo. PLRAs being sold. Artillery here now starting to come in. Rotated north. MTLBs here will come in as fire support. ADMs, UATs all moving around. MiG-23 ML. Once more moving around the flank here. Well, it's BRDM in the south. Relatively aggressive. Especially considering that the enemy has aeromobiles, but yeah, with them being unloaded so defensively, still not great. MiG-23 here, living a dangerous life. Siege plane, luckily for them, currently tanking it all. Ooh, can the Pamelas get another shot out? No, they can't. MiG-27 should make it home. Yeah, and those MiG-23s here are likely gonna have to go home in a second as well. Ooh, 20mm. A decent job. Artillery now aiming towards it. That's the correct way. Another one around here though. BRDM has to be careful. Airmobile coming in for it. Another bunch of Pamela. Failed to get a hit. This MiG-23 has come around here as reinforcement. Well, MTLB's running into 20mm fire. BBL recon here in a good spot as well. BRDM could come a bit closer to try to deal with it. I'm not doing that right now. We need to kill those kind of units off here right now. E30 is aiming. Did get the kill onto the AA. Command Super Para doesn't have any AT weapons, so can't do much here. Water fire in the rear. This is a really interesting little game. Radium Conqueror is not gonna get hit by this. Pamela's just staying at spawn. This MiG-23 in trouble. Does survive for now as well. Will make it home. Long repair time though. Mean 9 going in for some shenanigans, but the anti-helicopter on the other side is actually pretty good, so not sure about that. MTLB's surviving that engagement in there. Well, Stewart's is here as recon, trying to find the enemy. Getting in there. Able to get a kill here. MiG-27 getting damage against the VBL, but no kill. Pamelas stay as rear guard right now. Run of the MiG-27 here, not so successful just yet, but gets an AML-60 on the north. That's a good kill. Those are the kind of kills. The MiG-27's good gun really paying off. You need to get rid of those lightly armored vehicles. Like, the infantry is beatable with MTLBs, with your artillery, and your 7.6mm MGs. But the 50 cults are a pain in your butt here as the 79th. So, good action there. Another 20mm going down to the D30s. MiG-23 is now coming in for strafing. BRDM is forced out in the south. Getting into a position in the enemy rear here again. Aeromobile under fire. Aeromobile in the south. Might find the Fagot team. That should maybe move away. UWATs here will just get caught. The 7.6mm MGs here though. If they spot the aeromobile, they can do a decent job here as well. UWATs get caught as well. Aeromobile moving around. 0.6mm MGs now opening up fire. Starting to put stress on it. Losing line of sight now though. BRDM conquers a bit too close. +2 with the northern capture. Oh, Mi-9 gets caught by the Jaguar rocket. Plane failed to do the job there. Artillery starting to get on top of this. 7.6mm MGs in a good spot. Mobile trying to disengage. MiG-23 flying a bit deep here as well. Mortar fire coming on the other side. One 7.6mm likely gonna go down. 20mm gets the Fagot team. And the aeromobile doesn't even die here right now. That's a problem. Mortar fire starting to deal some decent damage here as well. 30. Coming in with some targets here. VBL recon. Bring in BRDM. Find a better spot. VBL recon goes down in the north. MiG-23 is coming around again. The Pamela numbers starting to become a bit worrying. The ML-60 going down. Conqueror's unit here is dangerous. Jaguar seat. MiG-23 MLs. 23 gets behind it. Gets into gun range. Gets a bit of damage. Doesn't quite get the kill. And the other MiG-23 is here currently not quite in a position to kill it. So this might still be close. MiG-23 going a bit too late. Not quite getting the seat. D30s on the ground. This artillery is so key. 20mm nearly out of ammo, but gets shot at. MiG-23 goes down. That's the MTLB plus 7.6mm MG combo. Slowly starts to move into the north, especially with the artillery fire support. The D30s here trying their best, bringing in an MTLB every time as well. But 7.6mm going down. No kills really happening here. Still for Greyhound. Hammermobile going down. MiG-23s maybe doing the wrong thing right now. Another one goes down, just leaving them over the enemy spawn with that many Pamelas around. not a great idea. Artillery needs to be pinpoint accurate to actually deal damage. If it's just hitting the neighbor building, that's not going to do any damage here. So that's a problem. Also in the north, have decent artillery as well. And they'll be getting some damage onto the superpower. Yeah. Situation here. Still under control. 7.6mm MG. Gets to deal some damage here. Ooh, rocket plane actually gets a run through, gets the BRDM. Sapper still alive. No coop open up here. Only Strellas moving around. Only Strellas moving around. Good hits against the 20mm. This here not quite there. 7.6mm MG here. Trying his best. Artillery coming in on target here. Have more Eagles coming up. We have another D30. Bringing it up to the front line. Me9 will try to land around. Up north, BRDM gets a toe in, but moves out. We're only 12 minutes into the game yet. So the grind's still going on. But issue is there are still too many of the support equipments over. Like if it's only going to be the Super Pumas with aeromobiles, then that is something that starts to become manageable for Greyhound. But his amount of units is pretty limited, and as long as there's still a couple of those VBLs, the 20mm and the AML60s, next to the classic stuff, then he is in trouble here. Strafing planes doing a decent job against the CV. Not quite getting the kill. Taking plane gets shot. Gets shot here. BBL Recon under fire by a Fagot missile. 7.6mm MG doing a good job here. Oh my goodness, the MiG-29 not getting the kill there. That's their mobile here under heavy fire. Fagot team likely gonna get killed. 7.6mm MG team trying its best. Oh no, MiG-27 going too deep. Oh, you can't afford losing this. Misplay here by Greyhound. Oh, those strafing planes are so key. They can kill the vehicles. They can deal massive damage to infantry squads with each hit as well. CV here now. Potentially could move forward. Couple more of the really precious 7.6mm MGs coming around. One now under artillery fire. Airmobile going down in the north. The 7.6mm plus the MTLBs here. Interesting dynamic. The D30s really with a good siege here now going on as well. Good couple of them. Another Ural moving around. What? He's a bit scared. Me9 though. Now pushing forward. The MGs and co. Trying to get into position here. Open up fire. They are now in range. Oh, BRDM going down. Mirage HE gets shot down, but the MiG-23 that got it gets gunned down as well. Me9 will capture the point, will stop the take. Bonkers here going deep. That is pretty important. That might find some nice kills, like the VLRA PMB. Ooh, MiG-29 trying to get some of the Super Pumas, but with the amount of Pamelas here, has to be careful. A couple of them start to run out of ammo, but still a good couple of them left. Another MiG-29 kill here. Conquers nearly out of shots now. Pamelas all moving north. Don't have anything else outside of AA capabilities, but they are pretty decent at that. No MG or anything on them, but MiG-29s and MiG-23s here not really doing what they need to do. They make sense to keep them in the enemy rear to prevent any of the fighter bombers to really get through, but if you just lose them there without gaining any value out of them, then that doesn't really help you either. MTLB here now in a bit of trouble as well. So no AT on this unit. MG team here in trouble, but still gets a good amount of damage out before it will go down. So yeah, you just can't afford losing them here. Well, and the on moving around. D30s here, trying their best. Enemy mortar team's getting shut down. The Puma's getting shut down, but the A situation here is still a bit problematic. Plus zero or plus minus zero here currently stays, and the 7.6mm MG's likely gonna cut through the power commander, or it might just get into the zone and start neutralizing it. No, gets gunned down before the MTLB here. Really little helpful unit in this moment when there's no aeromobiles. Already it start to fire through a decent amount of its ammo. Literally not quite doing the job here though. Well, up north we have VLRA, DMB coming in for the D30, trying to get some kills here. Long range, HGM's coming in. Pig has stopped, but the MTLB infantry push here that tried to get the northern town not around here anymore. Oops, not around here either. Got Stikas and Iglas it is. There's another Mirage HE. Ooh, failed to drop. MiG-29 coming in a bit late here. Mirage 5 likely already on the way out. Shot goes out, does miss. That's the mortar. Tries to get some kills in the middle. Oh, Mirage HE once more failing to drop. No coops, no Strellas here on the battlefield just yet. As Greyhound completely reliant on the fighters, and he just lost a couple too many of those. So he's a bit vulnerable to the airplay that he has given to the deck that currently is played by Mike. And 850 points on Vertigo. That's not an easy amount of points to generate, so not gonna be easy for our player in red here to actually start getting this back. The late game artillery advantage is nice. The MiG-29 here failing to get another kill. Camella's getting resupplied. There is a decent amount of supply in the deck of Greyhound, so that should be fine as well. PLRA under fire. Airmobile here likely surviving. As the artillery is landing slightly off target. Heat plane here coming around again. Airmobiles being unloaded directly at the spawn, going on the long march, but that is currently totally fine. ATGM units here coming around for the south as the US is trying to figure out what is going on here. If there's maybe a way into that rear zone. As the Godstika trying their best to get some kills here. D30s getting ready again here. All firing towards the south. New leader comes in. Oh, MiG-23 got hit here. And that's a lot of planes. Oh no, and there goes the D30s. Oh, great kills. 3 D30s down. There's no coops, no Strellas here invested in. There is a massive AA tap, but yeah, there come the Iglas. The MiG-29s tried to do it on their own, but they failed. As they just got too far over the Pamellas, and with 3 D30s down, like, that's the extra firepower. That's your late game advantage that you have. So going down to only 3 of those now, or 4 of those, is a big, big issue. The artillery still needs to hit to really do damage, so that's currently struggling anyways, but yeah, losing 3 of them really makes this insanely hard now to turn around in 20 minutes. The push power is now down to Iglas and a couple of D30s. Strafing not really possible. And the enemy keeps on hunting down the D30s here. Waterfire on the next 2. And there is no transport for them because the MTLBs had to be used as frontline units. The Airmobile here doing a pretty good job, and Mike on a good way here. His deck really is phenomenally bad. Starts to really work out here. Iglas can't fight Aeromobile. Aeromobile having the better veterancy and just having the extra MG. Even if you fight 8 Igla hit points versus the 10 Aeromobiles, it's not even gonna be close. 23 trying it here, but so many Pamelas here. Firing at them. P30 aiming for the next spot here. Trying to get the job done. But Stika coming in as well. And it's really funny to see the difference here on how you have to play this game compared to the WARNO League, which we will have the next season starting the week after next one, so 19th of 19th of January. League Season 6 will start, and there we will see really fine-tuned meta divisions meeting. And here it's just like the worst bunch trying to just barely scrape by. And the way you have to think about like the strengths and weaknesses of the deck that you know the enemy has makes it pretty interesting, though. I feel like, yeah, Mike and Hippie might have just done the deck building a slight bit better than the other side. Jaguar Rocket getting a good kill here against the BRDM. Good kills against 2 BRDM, 2 Conquerors. Iglas failed to get the kill there. P30. Dika. Mobile under fire. Super Puma coming in. Loading here in the rear. As the Iglas just try to leapfrog forward for the artillery, but the Aeromobile numbers, yeah, just one card too many Aeromobiles, I feel like, to really be viable for this. Like, if there would be one card less, the situation here would be somewhat manageable. But the third card just means that the enemy has a bit too much high-quality infantry. The Igla team's now desperately trying to cross the open field. More coming in, more Godstika coming in, but without bombers. And with only a couple of MTLB as fire support here, like this is not a great situation. The Igla teams just get shredded, and one more getting pushed back here. PKM 7.62mm MG pushing into the forest here now. As the D30s desperately try to find some hits, but D30 artillery just a bit too low. We will see how they work out after the artillery rework, but currently they need to get direct hits to deal damage, really. Like the AoE of those 120mm is just a bit too low. Ooh, Aeromobile getting shut down in transport. Those kind of hits are nice right now. And the D30s still do some damage here, but LGB Bomber being able to come around because you don't have the coops, even though you have them in the deck, but all the Colossus not able to afford them here. Mistral goes down, Aeromobile getting damaged. Units trying to push forward. This power command coming in from the rear. Igla teams getting a lot of shots out. LGB plane still getting through. MTLB going down. Next wave trying to come in. But we still have 5, 6, 7 squads of Aeromobiles in here. So yeah, the Igla teams desperately trying to get in there. 1.6mm MG teams pushing in there as well. Supply trucks for them would be helpful. Those are the key units here if you want to get anything done. We have another fighter flanking around here, another remaining MiG-29. B-30 is also now hitting the wrong spot. The leader spot here, that's good, but at the same time the units in the north all went down, so even a flank towards India now could be possible. And there come all the fighter planes. Pamela still in a good spot. '29 coming around. Yeah, I'm getting shot. Command moving forward. 7.6mm MG pushing in there. Plus moving around. Let's keep on pushing. 7.6mm MGs. Moving forward. Trying to get a kill against the Power Commando. Not quite able to do so. Big 23 coming in with the strafing run, but there is just no pushing power left here in this. And now we are also out of those Igla teams, and the MiG-23s just getting shut down. Mistral's just a bit too good of a manpad to really allow much to happen here, and MiG-27K trying to rotate around, but Mike really did it. Mike really built a fantastically terrible deck. BLRA mortars here getting shut down, but a lot of smoke has come out, and the aeromobile now running forward. They have more pushing power than the enemy side here. 7.6mm MG teams. They do good job. The one card that Mike had to give the enemy deck is doing a decent amount of work here, but it's not enough to stop the aeromobile push here. The number is just a bit too high. MiG-27 here, not able to do a strafing run right now. Watts is changing side here. The Igla teams being used as manpower, desperately trying to do their job. As bombs, the artillery falls around here. BLRA Pamela gets shut down. Mistral trying to get a shot out there, and there come the napalm. Jaguars here just bombing the D-30s. Will kill an MTLB there as well. What's this here? As retransport's actually quite nice, but not good enough. The 7.6mm MGs actually doing decently well here right now. Airmobile not great at dealing damage on the move. Wait a minute. Like, the fire was on the Iglas for the most time, so these PKMs with 5 veterancy here, this one has upvetted to 3 vet already. Actually doing decently well. Another stun here happening. Are they actually potentially able to do this? Oh no, Power Command about to get in there. The D-30s don't have direct fire. There's nothing with AG power left here. The smoke allows them to get in. Mean 9 here will try to find a way into the northern zone, but there is too much AA there. There's too many planes, and yeah, 1 PKM here goes down now. Aeromobile's really not having a good time against these. Really shows how strong these MG teams are currently. These PKMs really doing a fantastic job for Greyhound, but it's just too little. It is just too little. The RDM gets back in here, and he has nothing to kill this Power Commando with. Like, all his Igla teams will just die against it with his... Well, the sniper rifle can't be used in the smoke, but it has 2 veterancy with 0 vet Iglas. Like, nothing can deal with those Power Commandos. The Fagot teams can't do it. The D-30s could if they could really hit the mark. PKMs here going down as well. 11 minutes to go, and Greyhound will win this game. Will lose this game, and Mike will win this game here at this point. +1 going on. There is just only mortars left at this point, and the Strellas and the Coops. And the Strellas and the Coops can't do anything here. Like, they would have been helpful to kill the bombers when they came in, but couldn't quite afford them at that point. At this point, they don't really have any value because there's nothing with push power left. The D-30s desperately trying to do their thing. Mortar teams here actually being relatively annoying. But Stikas getting to aim. Mortar teams are trying to run away, and they get stunned here. Ones that get to shoot likely won't achieve much, and the Power Commando here starting to take out Fagots and Iglas left and right. 7.6mm MG team has been rescued, but not been replenished. Like, if they would have been a bit better replenished, that could have maybe worked out. But Stika here not getting on target either. More 20mm mortar coming around. The smoke play here currently still doing its job, as the D-30 just can't fire direct fire. Otherwise, they would be really helpful in this at this point. if they would have direct fire HE. And there we go. GG is called. Car Commando doing the job here. And Mike winning the tournament with a fantastically terrible deck. So GGVP here. Good show from Greyhound in this, but the deck was just a bit too much and he just had to give the enemy a bit too many cards there in that deck. So GGVP here. Well played by Mike, and with that, securing the terrible division championship title. And yeah, really, really well done. So with that, we are at the end of the tournament. And as my voice is not at the peak today, this is also going to be the end of the stream here. Yeah, congratulations, Mike, for finding the AA tab of 79th as the perfectly terrible part. And yeah, we'll have to see about this for the next one. Maybe we have to limit AA tab a bit. But in general, I mean, that kind of was the gameplay that we came here for. Like, so I'm not even sure if we need to have many extra rules, but this seems to be peak level terrible. And I maybe just have to we maybe just have to limit the AA slots so that you have to use other slots as well in 79th and take away the 8th slot of AA there or so. So that you are forced to get another recon or a infantry tab card in there. But really well done here by Mike. GGVP. Yeah, guys, we will be back at the latest next weekend with some more WARNO League preview for all the divisions and so on. So if you don't want to miss that, and if you want to play in it yourself, you can still find all of the information here on the lovely, lovely PlaySDL, where you can find sign up information for the league. League is open up for all skill levels, so no matter which skill level you're at, feel free to sign up, get yourself in there. So yeah, best of luck there. 80 slots, split into division 1 to 4, every skill level welcome. If you're new to 1v1 competitive play, it's the perfect spot to get in and play against other fresher players or more casual players in Division 4. And if you're top level rank, then this is the perfect place as well, where you will face off against some of the best players of WARNO history and face them in Division 1 and 2. So, with that said, thanks for watching for today, guys. See you all in the next one. Have a great day, and congratulations, Mikes, for this absolutely